First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who came today. Much appreciated. It means a lot to us. You know, my brother and I were exactly 13 months apart. I mean, the guy, you know, we were like this growing up, you know, just being 13 months apart. So we pretty much went through the same thing. You know, the guy was a hard worker, a true thinker, just born with a heart of gold. That's probably the best way to describe him. One of his co-workers, I'm not sure who it was, recently described him as a gentle giant. You know, what a fitting description. And I couldn't agree more. So, and there was a lot of other condolences from his co-workers that really meant a lot to us. I know we don't know you know, too well, but my brother would always speak very highly of every one of you. For those of you who don't know, we grew up in Del Rio, about 2.5 hours from here. Our house was right behind a grocery store and a meat market. I even see some of the old workers here from back in the day. So there was plenty of work to do. The one thing the only bad thing of working next to my brother, Chalin, we call him Chalin, I think the rest of the world knows him as Joe. But the only bad thing of working alongside Chalin was the guy would always outwork you. I mean, he was a machine. But the good thing about working alongside my brother was that he would help you finish up. He wouldn't take credit for it. I always needed help finishing up, and so I was lucky to have him. I think everyone needs a Joe in their life, and I was lucky enough to have him. You know, as a kid, he was, you know, he was wickedly smart. While the rest of the kids while we were watching cartoons, he'd be trying to show me something on CNN or trying to teach me Morse code, because my dad knew Morse code from back in the Army. Maybe trying to be like my dad, or true story, or trying to teach me how to use the hedges on my grandmother's rose garden. Yeah, poor abuelita. They grew back, but I think no one forgot about those days. You know, my brother did it all. He was a good son, would always help my parents. You know, we would cook, not we, but they would cook the cow heads underground, and Chalin would always be there helping them, you know, turn it into barbacoa. Let me think what else. Worked at the tortilla factory. One summer we picked sugar beets in Montana. Another summer we worked at a hospital in Chicago during the strike. But we loved it because, what was it? Minimum wage was $3 an hour. They were paying us double, so we were very happy. And my brother, such a hard worker. I think he was the only one that they would ask about years later. You know, of course, the 25 years in dialysis, like I mentioned, when he would speak about his patients and his coworkers, yeah, you could just you felt the love and the camaraderie. In fact, the very last call the last time I spoke to my brother, he was calling about a patient who had legal troubles, and he was like, "Hey, help me figure this out," and so I was helping him, and then, like always, "Hey, Caesar, I gotta go. You know, I'm at work." Okay. You know, that was my brother. You know, a funny story, we were driving back from Chicago. I want to say maybe it was I-65 South. We were driving to Texas. Chalin refused to get a hotel. He was like, "We're going straight." I think one of my uncles was offering him, like, you know, money, "Here, get the hotel." He's like, "Even if you give it to me, I'm not gonna go get the hotel. I want to drive straight." But we were driving, and then he tells me, he looks to me, he's like, hey, you hear the helicopter? I'm like, you know what, I do hear it. And then it started getting louder and louder until that thing was so loud, it was practically hovering above us, but we still couldn't see it until the honking started. That's when we realized that it was a blown tire. It wasn't a helicopter. Yeah, true story. So of course we pull over, he changes it. I don't even know how he did it. You know, with Chalin as you know, sitting next to you in a car, you really didn't need a road hazard. I mean, the guy, I mean, you were lucky. Like, everyone needs Joe. It's really like I said, and I was lucky enough to have that. You know, later, I think my brother developed some back problems and had a bad knee. It didn't dawn on me until now that he's gone, how he never complained about it. I mean, he would just, he just never complained about it. He never spoke about himself. Now that I realize it, when you would start talking to him, he would always start usually with a pointed question, usually about someone you loved or something about your family. He would ask me about, you know, his niece, his nephew. How's my nephew doing? How's my niece doing in college? And if you told him any type of problem, he was quick to help you. He was such a smart guy, and always worrying about those around him, and always trying to give advice, and it was always good advice. You know, 18 years ago, when I was starting my law office on a shoestring budget, you know, I think all I had was debt, and that was it. You know, I was just talking to him about it, and I was like, you know, I need this, I need that, I need some computers. And he's like, computers? You know what? I can assemble them. And I'm like, no, they need to be networked. You know what? I can network them as well. Which he did. The guy saved the day. A funny story or side story, it's not a funny one. The day that he purchased the equipment in San Antonio, a car hit him while he was putting it into the trunk of the car. And so he had to go to the ER. By the time he got released, it was nighttime. I told him, don't worry about it. He's like, nope, this is the day we were gonna do it. He drove, arrived in Del Rio 2.5 hours later. We worked till 4 or 5 in the morning, assembling them, installing software until they were networked. And when I invited him, you know, let's go to sleep at my house, he's like, I gotta go, you know, I work. And you know, that was my brother. You know, it's just one of those things where I'll just be forever. I'll be forever in debt to him. But in closing, I'd like to share, I came across it's a poem about death, but I like it because it's such an uplifting poem. Let me see if I can get through this. It's a poem called Immortality by Clare Harner. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am the 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints in snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. As you awake with morning's hush, I am the swift flinging rush of quiet birds in circling flight. I am the day transcending night. Do not stand by my grave and cry, I am not there.